I was thinking the other day, is Nintendo forcing us to use game key cards? We've kind of talked about the controversy behind them. You know, the little physical media that they're going to have on the Switch 2 that's technically not physical media. Yeah, they've done it again. Nintendo's done it again, guys. They found a brand new way to kind of give us what we want, which is physical games, while also sort of taking away at the same time, which the game key card. Yes, it's a card. It goes in your console, and yeah, it doesn't actually contain a game though. Instead, it boots up a screen and says, "Nice try. Now download the whole thing." And at first, people were confused, maybe even cautiously optimistic, but now we're realizing we had every right to be worried because it looks like a whole bunch of third-party Switch 2 games, especially the big boys, are going to be released like this. Street Fighter, to name one. Not as actual cartridges with games on them, but glorified download receipts. Why? Why is this happening? You might ask yourself. Well, the easy explanation is money, right? Manufacturing cartridges, especially big ones that can hold today's giant games, is expensive, always has been, probably always will be, and game sizes aren't exactly trending downward. Meanwhile, the price of making these little cards doesn't seem to be shrinking fast enough to keep up. So maybe Nintendo said, all right, devs, we get it. These things are pricey. Here's your get out of jail free card. Literally, just slap a key card, game card in a box, and boom, you're done. Physical release, technically achieved, right? Everyone wins. Well, no, not really, because what we're getting isn't a game. It's a box with a card that tells us to use the internet. What's the point? But here's where it gets real juicy, right? There's whole rumors and talks and speculation. We even made videos about this whole situation. Might not be the developer's choice at all, to be completely honest. It might be Nintendo forcing their hand, because apparently, we talked about this a while back, Arc System Works kind of leaked this out. The people that made Guilty Gear, you know those guys, they got hacked. And inside the leaked files that were shown was some Switch 2 info. And according to the leaker, developers on Switch 2 only get three options when it comes to releasing the game. One, digital only. Two, this game key card, which might as well be digital only. Or three, cough up the money for a 64 gigabyte cartridge, and that's the only cartridge option, guys. So yeah, there's no 8 gigabyte option, no 16 gigabyte option, just one big chunky expensive 64 gigabyte card or nothing. Back on the OG Switch, developers had choices. Smaller games could fit on smaller and cheaper cartridges. You didn't have to spend a fortune just to get your indie game on a shelf physically. But if this rumor is true, flexibility is gone for developers. Suddenly, game key cards start to make a lot more sense, especially if you have a smaller indie title. If you're a third-party publisher looking at your profit margins and Nintendo says, here's your only physical option, a massive overpriced cartridge, you're probably going to say, you know what, let's just go with the key card. Even Nintendo's own games like Donkey Kong Bonanza aren't massive in size. They could easily fit on older, smaller cards, but now if 64 gigabytes is your only choice, suddenly you're spending way more than you need just to get it on physical media. And it almost seems like Nintendo's being greedy when it comes to publishing physical media with its smaller partners. And I guess this would totally explain why we're seeing this game key card trend explode. So yeah, we've talked about it just a little bit. The person that actually leaked this Arc System Works info doesn't really have the most spotless track record. I think their name is Necrolepi. And yeah, they've gotten things wrong before. Some folks think he's just filling in the blanks, taking a little bit of data from the hack and spinning it into something bigger than it is. And look, I know the idea that Nintendo would only allow 64 gigabyte cards does sound kind of dumb. Why would they demand that developers use the biggest and most expensive cartridge, one they don't even need? Maybe Nintendo would do this. Think about it. If they only have to manufacture one size of cartridge, that might save them money in the long run. It might streamline production, bulk order, one size, make life easier for the factories. They don't have to worry about an 8 gigabyte. They don't have to worry about a 16 gigabyte. Except, here's the kicker when it comes to all this, guys. Nintendo doesn't eat the cost of the game key cards or the physical media or anything like that. The developers do. So why would Nintendo care about keeping things simple? They're not the ones footing the bill. Unless there's some kind of weird back-end business logic going on, like Nintendo gets a cut of cartridge sales or they charge licensing fees based on storage size. Who knows? It's Nintendo. They operate in a secret bunker that's probably made out of Wii U's in the Sahara Desert somewhere, right? So this is a whole weird, gray, frustrating situation because a lot of these games coming out launch that are in game key cards, I feel shouldn't be on game key cards. But again, they're much smaller than 64 gigabytes. People want to save money in this economy. Sure, some of us will complain about this. Some of us will refuse to buy physical. For me, if it's not actually physical, I'm not buying the game key card. So Street Fighter and all those games, I'm not buying it. I'm going to buy the ones that actually have the game on the cart, like Donkey Kong, Mario Kart, you know it. But most people, let's be real, they'll buy the box, pop in the key card, download the game without ever knowing or caring that nothing was on the cartridge because we're in this brand new digital age of not owning your games, right? And it's modern gaming. To me, it's just a little frustrating. I feel that indie devs or third parties can exploit the situation by being lazy and not putting their games on cartridges, but I also feel Nintendo can exploit the situation as well. And I feel it's just a mess. It's a slippery slope. I would rather just download the game and not have a game key card at all because it's the same thing, right? So, I don't know. First, it was always online DRM, right? Then it's day one patches. Now it's physical games that just aren't physical. And I don't like the road that we're going. So if you're one of those folks that's still out there saying, I won't stand for this, good on you. Genuinely, I'm in that boat. I would rather have all digital than this game key nonsense, right? More people should adopt if it's not really a physical thing, I don't want it. And I think if we keep buying game key cards, it's going to encourage Nintendo to do this more and more. And it feels like the rest of the industry is perfectly happy to hand us empty boxes as well. And honestly, that might be the real takeaway here. They didn't take away physical games overnight. They're just turning them into basically empty boxes and plastic souvenirs and paperweights, one key card at a time. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts. Do you think Nintendo is forcing indie devs and third parties to go this game key route by having the prices of their actual cartridges, the 64 gigabyte cartridges, overpriced? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Thank you for watching as always. Peace out.